have the Iranian empires of old, whether Parthian or Achaemenid or whatever. You have the Mediterranean to the Indian subcontinent, almost.
And that's what's really serious about this. I mean, the thing that's really serious about Iran is not the nuclear weapon. We can understand why Israel is obsessed about it, because Israel is really, in a way, the only country threatened by it. If they wished, for ideological reasons, to attack Tel Aviv with a nuclear weapon, that would be devastating to Israel.
George, if they're clearing that site where Iran has been believed to be developing nuclear weapons, would that be sufficient to deter Israel from launching an attack?
It's not clear that Israel has ambitions. It's very strange for a country that has ambitions to mount a sneak attack to be broadcasting it in every venue that it could possibly find. The Iranians do have air defenses. The Iranians do have the ability, under warning, to move their equipment. I mean, it's very difficult to believe that the Israelis are really so confident in their military capability they can afford to warn the Iranians that they're coming. So I don't think that the movement will deter or not deter or do anything, because I don't think the Israelis are serious about coming. Among other reasons, as I've said before, they're not serious about coming because the blockage of the Straits of Hormuz by Iran would devastate the global economy. They're not able to go unless they can take care of that. They don't have the force to do that. The U.S. Navy would have to be the ones doing that. And therefore, statements that they are going to attack without prior warning to the United States, if they want to, are really saying that they're prepared to attack and allow a devastating economic crisis to sweep the world. They may be willing to do that, but I doubt it very much in the end. So I think the Israeli threats about the nuclear weapons are really not the critical things here.
Remember, Israel's greatest strategic asset, as Moshe Dayan said in 1977 when Menachem Begin appointed him foreign minister, was Israel's close relationship with the United States. And Israel's relationship with the United States has to remain extremely close. So so one of the inhibitors to an Israeli strike is causing a drop in the U.S. stock market by 1,500 points, oil prices at the gas pump going up to $5 a gallon. That could turn the American public from being passively pro-Israel to suddenly being perhaps hostile. And that has never happened, really, in the history of the U.S.-Israeli relationship. So that's an inhibitor to an Israeli strike. One thing, though, that may engender an Israeli strike is, unlike other countries, whether the United States, the Soviet Union, that had strategic depth in a spread-out landscape and therefore could engage in deterrence. Because at the end of the day, if the Soviets had taken out St. Louis and Kansas City, the United States would still have gone on as a country. The same with the Soviet Union. Israel has no strategic depth in that regard. The Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa ink blot of population would be either killed or with cancer rates so high from a nuclear strike that it could seriously threaten to end the country's existence as it has gone on before. So it's a very fraught situation.
I want to add, to that, if the Israelis genuinely believed that an Iranian nuclear strike were going to happen, they would respond regardless of any of these considerations. But it's simply not clear that the Israelis have believed this in the past, nor are they behaving like a country that is about to mount a sneak attack. It is very important to distinguish between what the Israelis say and what they're going to do. And the reason we say that is they've had periods of warnings like this where they did nothing. Again, it's important not to obsess over the nuclear issue, because frankly, the threat from Iran is enormous and comes from issues other than nuclear weapons. It comes from the fact, as Bob said, they're reestablishing the Persian Empire.